Hello, this is Linda Vetras Nichols, evolutionaryhealer.com, and I have with me the most amazing person, Kaylee Spinhern. Welcome, Kaylee.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. All right, so Kaylee, you have the most amazing story of transformation, so I would love it if you would share that with us.
Absolutely. I feel like I have a bit of a transformation story as well, so I'm glad we're in agreement. I, I'm currently a business coach. I am a yoga teacher, and I've spent 10 years in accounting and operations management, but I started off like very differently, I think, from some of my peers. I started off growing up really like broke. To the point where I had no idea what I liked. I had no idea what I didn't like because I never had the option. So the mindset of money in my household was my mom would buy like cigarettes and alcohol and drugs, but she never had enough money for us kids, for clothes or art programs or music programs. So we always went without. We were never allowed to have any choices. So once I got into the working world, I continued on with that mindset of just not having enough. And I I wasn't able to afford food because I worked at a restaurant. I was able to get one free meal a day. Like hunger pains were very comfortable for me at night. And I just continued on with, if I don't have money, then I don't have choice. So once I decided to take choice back into my life, I was able to create more abundance in things as well. Excuse me.
Wow, that's
So,
huge.
yeah, really big. So I started off with basically less than nothing and no direction and very just sort of lost in life, and was able to slowly build an empire through the steps that I'm going to be going over with you during the slides.
Wow, and you left home like age 14? You were really young too, right?
I was stupid young. I thought I was super adult.
Yeah,
Of course,
right?
all 14-year-olds think so.
Well,
But I did.
you also were the adultified child helping to care for your mom, right? Because she wasn't the responsible one.
Yes, that is absolutely spot on. And I had younger siblings too, so I was already sort of a mother to them. So I felt very responsible and very, adult and ready to take on the world. And the
Yeah,
sooner that I could take on my lifestyle, the sooner that I could have control of my life, the better. So that's kind
yeah.
of what I aimed for when I left when I was 14.
Wow. Yes, and this whole world business, man, you're like this world traveler nomad. And
Yes,
now you're a digital nomad. So
I am.
yeah, and you're even a yoga instructor. Are you a yoga instructor too?
I am. Yep, I'm a yoga
Very
teacher.
cool.
I've been practicing yoga for the last 10 years. That was a huge part of my transformation as well, as getting into yoga, and I decided to finally take the leap and go to be a yoga teacher, and I absolutely love it. I adore it.
Oh, that's nice. That'll keep you grounded in your body because, man, your
Yes.
earlier life, it was like, let's just leave, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. So release fear, step into your success. That's really, your brand message, isn't it?
That's one of my mottos. The other one is make money travel the world. But
Ah.
the first part is definitely releasing the fear. And I have a picture of me on the Appalachian Trail there. That's actually where I'm getting married on April 16th. Yes, I'm super
Oh,
excited.
yes.
It's a 4 mile hike up and a 4 mile hike back. So we're definitely earning that space. And in order to step into your full success, you have to release that fear first.
Very cool. I love it. And embrace the story. Tell us a little bit why you have this titled Embrace the Story.
For so long, I pretended that I had to be perfect, or I pretended that I came from a really great place. Like I came off as, I grew up in the suburbs with a nice family, and I went to a good school, and everything was perfect and fine. So you should trust me as a human being. And denying that side of my story, I was really denying my personality and denying who I was. So if you can embrace your story about where you really came from and who you really are, that's the first step, is not cutting out that side of you, just out of fear of how people might think of you.
Right. And people really smell out inauthenticity.
Oh
So,
yes.
and the truth shall always be known, right?
Absolutely. She'll set you free.
Yes. So nomads believe that the world is yours. So tell us more about that.
I am a nomad. So a nomad means to me is I move from city to city, country to country, state to state, and I never really stay too long to build any really deep roots. I never travel to escape. I only travel to get closer to who I am and also learn other perspectives and cultures to kind of broaden my mind. So if you're a nomad, the world is absolutely yours. You're able to go where most people aren't able to go to or feel like they can't get there.
Yeah, very cool. I love it. So, in other words, your reach is limitless, and then you can translate that into business as well, because you've done an awful lot of back end work for, prestigious coaches and learning all their materials that your coaches have learned. So you really have the insider look at business. You have an accounting background as well. So you really get it on so many levels, and even on that more spiritual, vibrational level, you can help your clients in a very holistic, almost well-rounded way. So
holistic is exactly the word that I use. You're so spot on. Yes, I was actually
awesome.
just like traveling, I'm able to get a big perspective of the business side. Because my first business, I was a virtual business manager, which you had mentioned a moment earlier, where I helped back-end business coaches with all of their business. So like their operations, their client retention, their marketing, their growth. And I was also able to take most of their classes and courses. So I grew kind of with them, with their business, which is why I'm able to I understand both sides of being a coach. I understand what it takes to run the business side and also understand what it takes to really guide my clients into their full power.
Cool. We're getting a really weird, the womb sound that you put into teddy bears, put in the baby's crib.
That could be the jet that just went over.
It is the jet that went over. Okay. It is the damn jet that just went over. Okay,
So I was a virtual business manager for 3 years before I started my coaching business. That was my first business. I shut that down and moved into coaching. And I helped coaches, high-end coaches, with their back-end operations. So I took care of client retention, marketing, social media, procedures, just anything they needed to grow their business that didn't actually acquire them to be the coach. So anything that was outside of them just being the coach is what I took care of for them. So I was able to get a really good taste of the real life business coach lifestyle before I jumped into it. It's not as glamorous as it looks most of the time.
No, you really have to have your heart into it. You really you must have your vision of why you're really doing it, because it truly is a labor of love to reach out and help others. And if you don't have that behind you, forget it. I know, because there's too many things that get in your way, including yourself. So you better be willing to really grow yourself, or your business isn't going to grow, which I'm sure you got a taste of that too. But what I loved is that you were able to grow with them and learn from them and their mistakes, as well as what they were learning from their coaches as well.
Absolutely. And it doesn't take just, even though I'm like a business coach, I help people with entrepreneurship, it takes a lot of your energy. It's not just formulas and steps and processes and spreadsheets. It takes a lot of your energy to sit with these clients and grow with these clients. Absolutely.
You're holding space, energetic space for your clients. So whether you're on the phone with them or not, you're being paid, and that's why packages are high-end packages, because you've literally, for those 3 months or whatever it is, holding space. And that's why new coaches are recommended to have year-long programs. You work up to that ability to hold the energy for even one client for any length of time, let alone a group program that would be a whole year long. And some coaches will do 3 and 4 retreats in their package on top of it.
Yeah.
Those are
intense.
Major burnout places if you're not ready to hold that energy. So very cool. So again, we're talking really boundaries here, right? So
yes.
Tell us more.
I mean, it's great. Your reach is limitless, right? You can literally do anything you want with your life, no matter where you came from or who you are. But you also have to make some boundaries as well, especially if you're working in an energy source. So if you're working with energy, I'm sure everyone has had that friend who just sucks the energy out of you, and you're like, oh, I'm so drained after talking to you. So you have to learn how to create those boundaries and know when it's productive and when it's moving you toward burnout. Some of the clients I worked for, they were taking, I don't know, like 15 calls a week and then more. And I was like, and they just went down to like burnout land. And it's so easy to do that. So you have to create boundaries with your energy and boundaries with what you're able to do for them and what you're not able to do for them, and really planting those early on so you can prevent some of that burnout.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with boundaries is just allowing things to go through you and through your feet and down into Mother Earth, if you will.
Yeah.
Because you cannot take on their stuff.
No.
It's going to maybe come through you, and that's great. And you just run it completely through. And that was something that I have an online academy to train people in the method that I used in my coaching. And one of the gals was just like totally taking things on. It's like, no. Like, she forgot that part, run it through. Yeah. Cool. And how about find the message?
So the world is yours, and you can literally do whatever you want, no matter where you came from, but just really learn your message. Like maybe you had a really challenging upbringing, or maybe you had a really challenging section or chapter in your life. Find the message in that chapter, in that story, because it's trying to teach you something. If you find something is coming up in your life over and over and over again, it's because you haven't learned what the message is and you haven't learned how to appreciate it yet. So make sure that you're able to find those patterns in your life and really hear, feel, and learn from that message.
Yeah, man, there's universal truth, and if you don't know them, you're in trouble. They really apply when it comes to business. That's for sure.
They do.
Yeah. So embrace your whole self. All right. So tell us a little bit more about embracing your whole self.
Your whole self. So you're made up of like strengths and weaknesses and skills and learning curves and things like that. So you really want to embrace your whole self. You really want to accept the weaker parts to you and the strong parts of you, and not accept them as good or bad. Just accept them as a part of who you are. Like, you're human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up. You're going to make somebody mad sometimes. Like, it's just going to happen. And you have to really be gentle with yourself in that matter. And that's how you're going to access like your whole true power. So if you embrace your whole self, the good side and the I'm working on side, I'm not going to call it the bad side, but the improvement side, you can really step into your full power once you come at everything with your whole being. Yeah,
it's funny because like last year was the year of embracing mistakes, which aren't mistakes, but when you got a more editor mentality and you see all the little things and and you're a perfectionist, just being able to like let go, because there's a level of client even that is like, they see it too, and they're like always calling people out, and it's just like, no. And then this year has been or is, the hater, it's like welcoming the hater, it's like, if you hate me now, wait till you see what by the end of the year, you're going to be cursing me out, you will not like it anymore. In fact, you'll like me a whole lot less. So very cool. All right. And that's part of accessing your true power, stepping into your whole self, and like you said, knowing both sides of you and being okay with that, and being okay when somebody doesn't like it.
Yes, perfect. And I love that you brought up the haters, because this is like a word that's such a buzzword now that's been thrown around all over the place. And I was talking to somebody, I was in Florida, and I was talking to a business owner down there, and she's like, something about haters. And I was like, I don't know if I just don't have haters or I just don't acknowledge them. Because when somebody comes up trying to come at my business in an angle that I'm not particularly like happy with, I usually just kind of squash it with kindness. Yep. And it doesn't seem to bother me. Anything that bothers me is a reflection of myself. So if anything bothers me, I just have to go deeper into myself and figure out, do I have to create boundaries here? Is there something in me that I don't particularly like that I have to work on? So I don't actually have any haters, and I don't believe that you need haters to be considered to be successful, because everything comes down to you. Like life is what happens, and how you take it is how you're reacting to it. So if you can react to everything with love and appreciation, respect, and boundaries, then you're fine. You won't even have to worry about that part.
Yeah, right. Well, and I had this sort of fear of it, and then I was realized, well, of course, you know, it's their stuff. I had that piece of it. And then, so like, what was it of my stuff? And it was, I was still having issues with the predator, and that was stuff from my past, stuff that I had worked through in deeper work. And so then I got to ask myself, so why are you calling in the predator energy? Like, again, you know, like, you got over that, and it wasn't around you. And yeah, and then just to realize that you're in control of that. But it's like, sometimes it's like, yeah, but how do you do that? You know, because it just feels like it just happens, you know, because you've done the work, and then it's back, and it's like, well, what is there a concrete thing that I do to like keep that away? You know, it's like, well, don't be focusing on the fact that it's there or that you're trying to keep it away.
Yeah.
Just step into your power. That was my final conclusion.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right, because this is the message, right? It keeps coming up until you clear it out. And of course, you've done a lot of the big work. Sometimes it's just testing you, like, are you sure? And then remember, like with entrepreneurship, there's always a new level of vulnerability that you're stepping into. So every time that happens, everything's going to come up, maybe like in a shallow way or like a big way, who knows? But every time you step into a new space of vulnerability as an entrepreneur, you're like, whoa, wait, let me just check myself. Like, what's happening here? So, and I love, and also the act like loving both sides to you is perfection paralysis. That happens to so many people. It happened to me for such a long time. Like, I thought as soon as I became a business owner, I had to be perfect. I therefore had no flaws. You can trust me. I have no flaws.
Oh, you can't trust people if they have flaws. You can't trust people. That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to remember. So I had to really embrace the fact that, you know, I'm human. I make mistakes, and if I'm not human, people aren't going to relate to me. So how am I going to build a business if you can't relate to my, you know, facade of perfection? Yeah. So really being like, whoops, I screwed up today. Like, I'm a human.
You know, you're good at that one. You just get the giggles.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Okay, follow your inner guide. Is that more like intuition? How do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you communicate with your intuition. Intuition is definitely the space in you. And then you have an inner guide, and it doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it like part of your faith or religion, or you can call it intuition, or you can call it the universe, you can call it energy. But for me, I just call my inner guide. Like, I sit and I meditate on my inner guide, and sometimes I ask questions, and sometimes I just sit and listen. So we all have the power and the answers inside of us, and we're constantly surrounding ourselves with the noise and haters and, you know, social media and just all of these other distractions. Sometimes we forget to just sit still and remember who we are, where we're coming from, and what our personal next step is, not what somebody else is expecting of you. So, and the more that you practice your inner guide, the louder it's going to become.
Ooh, I like that one. Very cool. All right. So, power in the struggle. We've alluded to struggle already. So summarize power in the struggle.
So when you're being challenged in life, kind of like what you brought up earlier, the predator mentality, like attracting that. So when you have struggle in your life, you're able to really access some inner power inside of you to get over that. So you're exercising a new skill or trade in order to get through your challenges, and you're making yourself a little bit stronger in that sense. So there is power in your struggle. So if you deny that side of you, you're never going to find that true power as to why you went through that in the first place. So find the power in that struggle, and that will set you free.
Perfect. Okay, and appreciate the process. Man, you know, we get into that masculine energy, and here's all the goals, and here's what I'm doing, and chop, 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 and completely lose yourself in that anyways. So yeah, appreciate the process. And remember, I'm just going to jump in here with something, but because it's so important though. Yeah. Build a life. Know what you want to be doing with your day, your weeks, your months, your years, and know who you want to be doing it with. And then build the business around it to accommodate those choices. I just think that's so crucial, so important, and keeps people out of burnout.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because if you're not centered, if you're not aligned with who you truly are on the inside, this is tapping into your inner guide. And if you're not aligned with that part of you, things are going to start crumbling around you. And that's when you start like taking some notes, like this is the message here, like clearly I'm in the wrong direction. And we have to remember, we're such a results driven society, and constantly with the Facebook noise, like, oh, I started a Facebook group and made $1,000 every week my first month of launching a business. And of course you're going to be like, what? Like, what am I doing? But you have to remember that your process is different than anybody else's process.
Yep.
And nobody can say like whether you're in line or not. Like, you have to know this. So if maybe you haven't made your first client yet, maybe you haven't gotten your first client yet, but just appreciate how much you've grown since you've decided to take on this path. And that's way more important than the end result, because you can get to the end result, and we're going to mention this again, by burnout for sure. But are you going to be happy in the journey of it, as opposed to just getting right to the destination? So really embracing the process and just remembering how much you've accomplished.
Cool. All right. And then honor the challenges. Tell us more about just challenges that might come up, and then how to honor the challenges.
How to honor the challenges is appreciating the process of it. So I don't see challenges as a bad thing. I see challenges as a good thing. So when I know I'm growing, when I get that like gut wrenching, I'm gonna puke feeling in my stomach.
Oh yeah.
Now I used to just dread that, I'm like,
I know, right?
Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Yes. I call that welcome to the up level, my darling.
Yes, perfect. So,
a new level, a
new level. Yes. So I do. I explain it like working out, right? So you're working out, and then the next day your arms are kind of sore. You're like, oh boy, my biceps, my glutes, yada yada yada. It's because you're building and you're growing. So that sick feeling in your stomach, as long as it's not a bad intuition feeling, those are your emotional growing pains. Like, you're growing outside of your comfort zone. So if you see a challenge that's coming up, like me on Periscope, I hated Periscope, and I was like, I really hate everything about this. But, I knew it was the right choice for my business. I tapped into my intuition, like, okay, this is good for me. Clearly I have a block about like, interviews are good. We can interact. I can feel you where you're at, but like just talking out into like, who knows? That's a little nerve wracking for me. So whenever a challenge comes up and you're like, I don't know, like, just honor the fact that it came up for you. Check in to see if this is your next right step, and then go for it.
Yes. Because just because it doesn't feel comfortable doesn't mean it's not the right next step for you.
Right.
So it's about pushing yourself to grow.
Yes.
and really being able to detach and be your own best coach. I mean, our coaches are so important, and they find all our garbage, and that's wonderful. It's a beautiful spiritual experience having a coach. But you know what? The coach isn't there 24/7, so you better be your own best coach, is how I see it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And the last item in here is watch for signs.
Yeah.
So if something is coming up for you repeatedly, there's a message and things, on the negative side, some on the challenge side, but also on the positive side. So people are constantly asking you for like interviews, or if, people are attracted to you by like XYZ that you're doing in your life, just look for the signs. Like, I launched a group program once and nobody signed up for it. Nobody even had interest in it. And as opposed to being like, wow, I'm such a failure, like horrible, why would I do that? Going down that path, I was like, well, not for me. Moving on. Like, clearly something bigger and better is coming up, and I don't know what it is yet. This was months ago. And now people are coming to me and asking to help run retreats or help build the retreats. And I'm like, oh, this was my something bigger and better. Like, I'm not in groups right now. That's not my special genius place. Like, retreats, in-person retreats are my special genius place. So just watch for the signs. And if you obey them, like, if you're like, okay, I'm ready, like, I'll trust you, then you're going to get a lot of rewards out of that.
Yeah, I love that. And my coach never sold a program. I've never created a program before she sold the program. She'd sell a program. If it didn't sell, she wasn't out anything. And then even when she did sell it and created it, then she recorded it and was able to like use it again and actually help more people that way. Mm-hmm. So that was very, very cool. All right. Anything else you wanted to say on signs? Watching for the signs?
Just watch out for the signs.
Just do it, people.
Just do it. Exactly.
Do it. You'll thank me. Okay, so to summarize, the world is yours. Embrace your whole self, and that there's power in the struggle.
Absolutely. That is the whole summary. Like if I went from, broke to growing up in a drug addiction, unsafe home to running my second business, traveling the world. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm peaceful and happy. And these are the things that I did to go from that broken, lost, confused space to stepping into my whole power, to being the fullest version of myself that I possibly could be. So those are steps that worked for me on a very, very, very deep, vulnerable level. And some might work for you, some might not, but give it a shot, because you have the power to change. There's no reason why you can't live a full life that you truly want. And I've seen so many people have come up to me, and I'm on this new path now where I'm trying to figure out how to, because I'm watching the signs, right? So I'm trying to find this new path to help people. They've been coming to me and they're like, I want to change, but I can't even pay my bills. And I'm like, I get that. I've been there for sure. So if you start working on you first, it doesn't cost anything. Just start digging deep inside and start making major shifts in how you're seeing the life and how you're accepting life and showing up to life. And that could be your first steps to really changing who you are and where you're at.
Very cool. I love it. Okay, and your gift, yay! Get unstuck. That's a good one. Get moving, even better, and get on with your life. I love this part, with grace, which is just what you're reflecting here. It's so beautiful. So thank you so much for your gift. Tell us more about it.
There's 9 steps in here. There's like 3 parts. They get unstuck, get moving, get on with your life with grace. Because, we can get on with lives in other ways, but grace is the best way. Yes. And there's 3 exercises in each of them. So this was kind of the overall like feeling or results of the feelings and changes. These are actual activities that you can come back to. And I still come back to over and over and over again. When I'm feeling frustrated or when I'm feeling celebrated or whatever it might be, I'm always checking in with these 9 steps to make sure that I can get to the next level. They're kind of like a go-to to just, you can put them in any part of your life at any time and see a result. So these are 9 steps that I've compiled over, like 10, 15 years of mindset work, of programs that I've taken, of coaches that I've had, mentors, like everything I could possibly do. These are the 9 that was proven to be perfect for me in my life. And I've done a lot of workshops on these, and people have always come back with something that they really liked about it. So I know that it's also helped a lot of people as well.
Wow. Proven and tested. I love it. Thank you for that. That's amazing. Just go back out to the email where you click to get out to this interview, and you'll see Kaylee's bio and picture. Below her bio and picture is the link that you see here. Just click the link back in the email and take you right to where you can grab her gift. So thank you again, Kaylee, for that.
Thank you.
All right. Oh man, you're just so full of such great information and very well-rounded in your knowledge, and just even on that more spiritual level, it's like you get it, and you can keep your clients calm.
Yeah, right.
And stretched out and without being burnt out. Yeah.
Beautiful. My clients call me the Velvet Hammer because I come at them softly, but I definitely expect some results. Like, you're gonna change. Like, you can do this.
We're gonna make this thing happen.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you again, Kaylee. It's always such a pleasure to be with you. Love your energy, and just love catching up with you and playing with you out on Facebook too.
Yeah, it's been super fun. I really appreciate it a lot.
Same here. All right. Well, you take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.